morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, The Hospital Indemnity Your Clients Need, with AIM's Mike Anderson and LifeSecure's Bob Anda. Today's webinar will be recorded and then later posted on our website. This does mean that all attendees will be automatically muted so that we get a quality recording. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat box, and we'll try to answer them throughout the presentation. But if we're unable to get to all the questions, we'll have a member of our marketing team reach out to you individually to make sure you get that answered. Before we get started, we'd like to invite you to join us for our next webinar on Tuesday, April 29th at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Join AIM's Don Erickson for Overcoming Long-Term Care Qualification Barriers. And with that, I'll hand it over to Mike so that we can go ahead and get started. Take it away, Mike.
Thanks, Jordan. Morning, everybody. This is Mike Anderson. Glad to be joined today by Bob Anda, the Territory Sales Manager for LifeSecure up in our little corner of the world. And recently, Bob was here working with our crew face-to-face and spent some time introducing us to the upgraded version of LifeSecure's Hospital Indemnity, which they call, in a real kind of cloak and dagger way, they call it 4.0, and we're going to spend some time looking at that today. Nice thing for us is it's available, 4.0 is available in most states. New Mexico and Pennsylvania are exceptions, and one of the really good things is that California is the state that it's available in because we always get questions there. So we're pretty excited about the opportunity that this presents. Part of what Bob's going to talk about, and we always emphasize this going forward, is we're constantly working with you, the agents, to help you with what we call the value proposition score. And that's, what is your relationship? How does your client see the relationship you have with them? How do they score it in terms of the value that you bring to them? And we're really excited about this because we know in that super complicated and super difficult and turbulent senior health space right now, both Medicare Advantage and Medicare Sup, that the better job we do helping you with that value proposition score, the better job you're going to do helping your clients, and it's going to help you with that particular piece. So with that, to increase my value proposition score, I'm going to quit talking. I'm going to turn the program over to Bob. He's got a nice, tidy little spreadsheet presentation for you. So Bob, I'm going to mute myself, turn it over to you. Take it away.
All righty. Hey, thank you, Mike, and good morning, everybody. And thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day to learn more about our new Hospital Indemnity product. And before I get started, I just want to talk about, why is Hospital Indemnity important right now in this marketplace? It's a great gap filler for your Medicare clients that'll assist in covering out-of-pocket expenses for Medicare, high deductible plans, co-pays, that kind of thing. It'll help keep your, could keep your client out of bankruptcy, actually. And also provide, the financial protection they need. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here with the agenda. And we have a really short presentation, probably about 6 or 7 slides. And the goal today is just to get you fired up about selling this particular product, speaking to your clients about it, giving you a high-level summary of kind of what our offering is compared to the marketplace out there, how the product works, the marketing conversation with your client, and then we're going to jump into a live demo for sample quoting and pricing, so you can see how easy it is to do business with us and quote this particular product. So here we go. I'm going to jump right into this key coverage comparison. So the goal of this slide is to show you that that we're very competitive in the marketplace. We're actually better in a lot of cases than our competitors. And if we're not better, we're right there in the ballpark. And what this is a key coverage comparison. So these are, on the left-hand side, are key coverages that you'll find in most Hospital Indemnity products. And then right next to that slide, or column I should say, is a LifeSecure product, and then I've included Liberty Bankers. I believe you guys have them in your portfolio, GTL, and Medico. So right off the bat, first key coverage is the daily benefit amount. So we're going from $100 a day to $900 a day, and ours rejuvenates after 60 days. And those of you familiar with our old hospital recovery product that replaced, this product replaces, we didn't have rejuvenating benefits on that one. So this is one of the new features of our new product. And then you'll see Liberty Bankers only goes to $750. GTL's at $750, although they do have one first day where they do pay a higher benefit. Medico is capped at $600 a day. Next key coverage, confinement periods, we're kind of in the ballpark there. We can do 3, 6, 10, 21 days, and the competitors are right there in that ballpark as well. Medico going up to 31 days. Next key coverage is emergency room admission. Ours is on a rider twice a year, $150 for the hospital admission, and then Liberty's at $250, GTL $150 base, and then Medico $150 base. So what I mean by base is it's included inside the policy. Rider means it's outside the base policy. But if you do see a line of coverage here that is a little bit better than ours, just keep in mind that if you kind of take the totality of the policy and you look at the price and the ease of doing business, feel pretty confident that we're going to be end up being the better product at the end of the day, even if we are short a little bit on one of these riders. Next key coverage is the observation benefit, and that's also a new coverage to this new product. And we can do equal to the daily benefit amount for up to 6 days. So we're actually, since we have a higher daily benefit amount of $900, we're much better than our competitors on that observation benefit. And you can see Liberty's is capped at $100 a day, and then GTL's at equal to the daily benefit amount, and then Medico equal to the daily benefit amount. And Medico has some strange language in their brochure about particular to how it's coded on whether they'll pay the claim or not. And so all of these coverages that we have listed here are paid directly to the insured. We don't require them to have medical coverage, Medicare, even though this is designed as a Medicare wraparound product, and it's paid directly to the client. So that's another benefit to it. Next, new coverage is the mental health benefit. We pay up to $150 a day for 7 days. And then Bankers is at $175 and $175, $175. Everybody's kind of in the same neighborhood here, but one thing I did notice in reviewing the brochures of our competitors is that some of them, their coverages are not stackable, meaning that you can't, if you have a coverage that applies to the same event, the same hospital stay, you'll get knockdowns. We don't have that. Every single coverage here is stackable. So, and I'll show you that when we do a sample case study on how the product works. Next key coverage, ambulance. Ambulance coverage, we have this on a rider. It's very affordable. I think it's $5. We do $150 for ground, and then $500 for air. And then Liberty's at $100, GTL $50 to $400, depending on the rider you select. And then Medico up to $250 on a rider. And then last but not least, on the very bottom, left-hand corner, application fee. Although this isn't a key coverage, it is a huge differentiator for us, and I wanted to put it in this graph. We don't have an application fee. And then Liberty Bankers does have, I believe it's a $25 fee. GTL, I think, is $25, and I think Medico just eliminated their application fee, so they don't have one either. So pretty good advantage there for us. And the last thing you want to explain is a additional charge, $25 to your client when they get their initial bill. That's for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to the next slide here and talk about a few of the key product highlights. So we've got issue ages 18 to 85. That's guaranteed issue from 64 to 66. So again, perfect target for the Medicare clients. It's guaranteed renewable for life, and the price locks in at the issue age. Again, the benefits rejuvenate after 60 days. And then we added the observation coverage, hospital admission resulting from mental health and nervous disorders. That can include anything from anxiety, even substance abuse, that kind of thing. And it's becoming more common, so consider that a very key coverage. We're age banded with unisex rates. We don't have any knockdown for nicotine or anything like that. And then I've had several agents tell me that we're very, very competitive on the family plans, and we're actually rated the same. So if your client has 2 children or up to 10, or whatever the case may be, the price is going to be the same on the family plan. It's a huge advantage there if you're selling to somebody that's not a Medicare client. And then again, riders on the right-hand side. We're going to go through these again when we do the case study, and then we do a sample proposal. So again, lump sum hospital admission, emergency room outpatient rider, major diagnostic exam rider, and rehab skilled nursing rider. So I just flew through those because we're going to hit them again twice. So next, let's talk about marketing this product. Left-hand side is kind of who are the targets. Again, seniors with Medicare Advantage plan, zero cost or low deductible plans, individuals with the high deductible on PPO or high out-of-pocket. I've seen some with up to 10,000 out-of-pocket on some of the PPOs, so those are good targets. Individual small business owners that don't have any medical at all, definitely a good target client. And this could keep them out of bankruptcy and help them a great deal, especially if they bundle this particular product with our accident and critical illness product. And hopefully I get a chance to come back and cover those 2 products as well and show you how the 3 products that we offer for individuals work together. So next one is, where to find those clients. Your book of business is probably the best place to start. We could sell this product 365 days a year. So going back to those clients that you just enrolled in the last enrollment period, great idea. If you're not doing that, if somebody else is going to do it. I know that I've seen my old company, we had call lists and we were constantly calling at Chubb. And then I know Aflac is out there, everybody else. So you want to, keep other agents out of your book of business and at least have this conversation with them on selling hospital indemnity. And then last but not least, for those of you that have been appointed with us for a while and have written a policy on our old coverage form, or we call it hospital recovery, great opportunity to circle back to them and switch them over to our new product that has greater benefits, including the mental health and observation benefits and rejuvenating. Okay, next, I love, talking about cross-selling book of business. And whenever I do a training, whether it's critical illness, long-term care, anything like that, I love to include a way for agents to kind of take the product knowledge that they get from the carriers and take it to the streets, take it to their book of business. I remember when I was an agent for many years, and I'd have carriers come in and give us, just kind of regurgitate 100 slides or show and give you all this product knowledge, and your head was spinning. And the frustration I had was, how do I take that to the streets? So whenever I do a training, I try to include a way to do that. So let's talk about the cross-sell starter conversation. And I just put this script together, give you some talking points, and going to role play with myself here and give you some ideas. So here we go. So hi, I'm Bob with AIM. I helped you out with your Medicare plan recently. I'm just calling to see how it's going, checking in, see if you have any questions, and see if you've used your plan yet. Okay, that's great. That's what I've been hearing. And talking to some of my clients on my follow-up calls, I've had some clients that have used it, and they were looking for ways to reduce their copays and their out-of-pocket expenses. So remember when we met and I went through your plan with you, I mentioned there'd be some copays and coinsurance that would be required from you. Well, I wanted to, take a moment, circle back and talk about how we can get those reduced down to almost nothing with the hospital indemnity plan. How's that sound? Sounds great. How about next Tuesday? You might get the answer that you're most likely going to get is I'm on a fixed income and I really can't afford it. I don't have time, and I'll just worry about that copay or coinsurance when it comes right down to it. And then what I'd say to overcoming that objection is, these products can be had for as little as $10 a month. Can you afford $10 a month? Yes, I can. Well, great. Let's get together next Tuesday. We could do it over the phone, or I could come and meet you at your house. How's that sound? And that's kind of the conversation. So hopefully you find that helpful. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide here and do how does it work? A case study. And you might get this question when you're getting the meeting with the client. On the left-hand side is kind of the facts, and then of the case study, and then what they chose as their coverages. So let's go ahead and give you the case study. So Ann, 65 years young, selects a daily benefit amount of $500 a day and 6 days period of confinement. She also selected a $1,000 lump sum hospital admission, and she selected a rehab rider of $200 a day. And she also, let's see, what else did she select? That's it. So the accident, which is really common, Ann loses her balance and falls getting out of the shower. She breaks her elbow, breaks her collarbone, injures her shoulder. She calls 911, and she's transported by ambulance to the emergency room, nearby hospital, and she's evaluated and scheduled for surgery. She's admitted to the hospital for 6 days, and then upon discharge, she's transferred she learns that she has to go to rehab, spend 3 weeks in rehab to regain the use of her arm, and scar tissue, all that stuff. So that's pretty common. That sounds like a really common scenario. And I know my mother, senior, she recently fell and had very similar injuries getting out of the tub. So let's go ahead and talk about the cash benefit payout. So the ambulance benefit would be $150 plus emergency room benefit of $150, lump sum hospital admission benefit of $1,000, daily benefit amount. That's we picked 5 days for 6 days, so 6 times 500 is $3,000. The rehabilitation facility, $200 a day for 20 days. So that's another $4,000. Total benefit, $8,300. So sample premium, what would that look like? And I'm going to show you a sample quote, be about $77. So that's a really strong policy. Be quoted much lower than that. And this is for a 65-year-old, guaranteed issue, so there won't be any medical questions, anything like that. Can be bound immediately. And then without riders, if we did not have those additional riders on there, just went with the base policy, for this senior, it'd be $40 a month. And then if we had her spouse, husband and wife, they can be added on one policy. And we had all the riders in this really nice policy, that'd be $149 a month. And then if we had the spouse and with no riders, it'd be $76 a month, just to give you an idea of the pricing on this. So next slide here. Talk about why would you like to do business with LifeSecure. I'm going to show you actually, but I'll fly through these really quick. Ease of doing business. You can do a bunch of quotes at once. Take just a few minutes to quote. Application, you can do it by wet signature, or you could do it via text. So you could sell this product on the phone, by volume, or meeting face-to-face. There's, again, no application fees. We have a ton of payment options. This was a big deal at my prior company where we would only accept, an EFT, would not take credit cards. This is important that we have this option. Do credit cards, EFT, and then if it's, we can also do payroll deduction when this policy comes online for worksite business. It's paperless, so we can everything can be done by email. And we've got some marketing and co-branding options for you. And what does that mean? We just launched a new program called eShop, which is actually could be a separate presentation in itself, where we can link our quoting system and our products directly to your website for passive marketing. So somebody is fishing around on Google for gap coverage, supplemental coverage for their Medicare or major medical, and they stumble upon your website or they're directed to your website. We can give you a PURL and set you up with some online marketing, passive marketing, get you passive income with LifeSecure. So I'm going to go ahead now and exit this, and I'm going to go into a live quote. Unless we want to cover some questions, Mike, what would you like to do, or we can cover those?
Keep going. I've got the questions. I covered the questions out of the chat box as you were going, so go ahead and transition right into that live quoting.
All righty. Okay, so let's see here. Hopefully you can see can you see this, can you see the quoting system?
Well, we've got a screen right now that says see insurance differently. I don't see any quoting system yet.
Okay, give me 1 second.
I think you have to log into Tamara, don't you?
Yeah, so can you see you can see LifeSecure training, right?
Yep, got that.
Okay, good. So this is so if you just, for those of you that are appointed or about to get appointed with us, if you just Google LifeSecure, LifeSecure Insurance, you'll get this screen. You'll know it says training. It's an exact duplicate, including the pricing of our live offering. And then you just go to Secure Logon, and then click on Agent and Agencies. And I'm going to go ahead and log in. All right, so this is what your screen will look like once you're, look at that. Got a spring bonus program. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. We also have a new agent bonus as well. So I'll get that information to Mike. He can share with you for those of you that want to get appointed. But let's get to the quoting. So this is the home, kind of the landing page once you log in. There is a live chat feature. And that is actually really critical. It works really well. I'll tell you a quick story before we do a quote. I was actually working with an agent down in Portland. We were quoting a client of hers who recently got divorced on Hospital Indemnity, and the system locked us out because she had an existing policy with her husband, and we weren't able to quote. So, hey, before I gave up, I said to the agent, hey, let's try the live chat and see if we can get this unlocked and get it set. So I clicked on that live chat button. I got a person right away, which was incredible. Super impressed. They were very responsive. They unlocked our quote, and we were able to quote this client within a couple of minutes of being locked out because it was showing as a existing policyholder. So great story. Love sharing that. So the next one is quoting tools here. There's a couple ways to get into the quoting system. You can go to quoting tools, and you can do e-application, start a new application. If you're doing worksite business, you go here and go employer proposal tool. But the easiest way is just to click on quoting tools right here for individuals. And I'm going to click on that. It's going to take us right into our product offerings. And here we go. So ancillary products, that's going to default to that. So here, all I have to do is pick the state. I'm going to go ahead and pick Washington. So once you get appointed, every state that you're licensed in is going to automatically appear in this drop-down. And for me, on my producer logon, I'm licensed in Oregon, Washington, California. So I click on that, and that's the only three that shows when I'm working on a quote. So here we go. You go to Washington right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and quote a senior just to show you how easy it is. Again, guaranteed issue, 64 to 66. Let's see. Make it, it should be like 66 or 60. Okay, 65. Perfect. So now Now I'm going to scroll down here. So I've got the age in there. I've got the state, individual. And here's the product offerings. I'm not going to do the accident or the critical illness because today's about hospital indemnity, but I'd love, Mike, for the opportunity to come back and do some live presentations on these. We have a really unique accident plan, and it's completely different from anything that's on the market, so I'd love to come back and talk about that. And then here we go, rolling down to the hospital indemnity. And all I have to do is toggle over here on the left-hand side. And see here. There it goes. And then, whoops, click. Okay, I had one too many clicks there. So on the upper right-hand corner here, as we develop this quote, you're going to see a price per month generate. In the middle, there's a really nice kind of one-page summary that I'm going to email out to Mike to share with you guys. But whenever you're inside of a quote and you're not sure about a coverage or what's available, you can click on this View Details, and it will give you our one-pager, which I think is really useful. And I'm going to go back to the quote. That's a nice benefit to have. And again, here's the options. I'm going to do the individual first. I'm going to do the exact one that we just did. So there we go. I think, so the height and weight, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, but this is guaranteed issue, so this is not relevant to this particular quote, but it's just built into our quoting platform. And we have, by the way, our build charts for height and weight for all of our coverages. They're very liberal. You could be, hate to sound crass here, you could be very, large person and still fall within our approved, build chart. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple things. You can just scroll in $10 increments here, or you can use the box. Do it either way. I'm going to do $500 because that's what we did in our hypothetical with Ann. And then I'm going to do the 6 days. I believe that was in our case study. I'm going to do the emergency. So that's just the base right there. So if you look at the upper right-hand corner with no riders, should have the price developed. Yeah, $40. So that's what we indicated on our case study. And then period of confinement, 6 days. And now there's only two things really you have to account for besides their age in generating a price and a product. And then now we can add the riders in, and they're listed here. One thing I like about it too is you can hover over that and it'll give you a definition. And I was actually playing around with another quote, and I saw that that this is you can use an HSA account to pay for the premiums as well. So just throwing that side note in there for you. So I'm going to go ahead with the emergency room rider, $529. So that's going to bump the price up a little bit. I think we picked the skilled rehab. Really, if she's Medicare, I probably should select the 21 to 100 so you can pick up the, I think Medicare only covers the first 20 days, I believe. But I'm going to go ahead and, it's the same price, so I'm going to go ahead and click $200 a day. There we go. And then lump sum hospital admission rider, I'll do 1,000 so we can get to that $8,300 benefit on our case study. And then I don't believe we checked the outpatient surgery. So that should get us around $74, $76, something like that. Let's see where the price is. Yeah, there it is, $77. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and continue, or I could save this quote for later. And then if I save it, if you get a phone call, you're interrupted, or you just want to have the quote available, it's a good idea to save it. It'll pop up here in your let's see, your e-quote. So if I save it, it'll come up here and you can circle back to it at any time. So I'm going to keep going here just to show you how easy it is. If I wasn't speaking and coaching you guys through this, I think you could do it in like 1 or 2 minutes. I mean, especially if you get comfortable with our quoting system, I think it's really awesome. It's probably the best I've seen. I've been in the business 25 years and seen a zillion different quoting systems, trained on them, used them as an agent. And this is by far the best. It's kind of our calling card as a company. We're a relatively young company. I forgot to mention we're owned by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. They started this company, Blue Cross did, to fill this gap and supplement, with major medical. So I'm going to hit continue and this will give you a summary. This can be, you can edit from here and play with the coverages a little bit. So if you're sitting with a client or if you're just on the phone with them and they say that's too much, that's out of my budget, you can hit the edit button, you could lower the coverages, or you could save it and then go back. So, but I'm going to keep going because I really want to show you just how easy this is. So I'm going to go ahead and you can email the quote as well, but I'm going to hit apply now and type in a name here. Let's see. I'll do Ann. Okay, there we go. Apply now. And now it's cycling. And now I'm just going to enter some personal information about the client, a little bit more information. So Social Security number. Got the date of birth in there. Give us a chance to confirm that. And then down here, it's going to prompt me to select either electronic signature or wet signature. You can do either way. I'm going to go ahead and select electronic signature, which means they can get I think they get a verifying text or email to confirm the signature. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue here. And let's see. All right. Well, I'm going to have to go back one because it looks like I already have an application for this particular client. So let's see here. I just did one right before we started to make sure the system was working good, and I ended up locking myself out. So I'm going to go ahead and go continue. All right. Go back to general information. A little glitch here. Bear with me. Yeah, I should have saved it. So I didn't take my own advice, so I'm going to jump back here real quick. And there we go. It'll only take me a second, and you can see how fast you can do it without conversation. All right. Double click there. Bear with me. And that, by the way, what I just did was the same exact thing that happened live when I was down in Oregon working with that agent. So I can't actually go to live chat and ask the quote to get locked. I did lock the quote because I actually went through and bound it before using that same information. That was my bad. So I'm just going to go back and do another one again. Take me 2 seconds here. Okay, it's cycling. You see how fast I went through that? It took me about 30 seconds to get back. So I illustrated a couple things. One, save your quotes, for sure. Okay, next screen. This one's easy. I'm going to go ahead and pre-populate that. You have to check the gender, even though it's unisex rates. You can select paper copy or electronic email. Future correspondence electronically. Email and text as an option for reviewing. You can put an optional phone number in there, maybe a home if somebody still has a landline. And then that's pretty much it. I'm going to hit continue, and it's going to take us to the billing screen. Okay, so it kicked us back to the first page. So what happened here is I actually love this feature because it means I missed one question because I was flying back through that to get caught up to where I left off. So what I did was I missed this particular question. Will this policy replace an existing hospital indemnity policy last 12 months? So I'm going to put no right there, and then hit continue. It's going to take us right back to where we were. So good feature. So the system will not let you kind of go astray. You know. All right. So another again advantage to our ease of doing business is you could do automatic payment, or you can do EFT, so credit card EFT, or a full payment by automatic withdrawal as well. You can do monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual, depending on the client. I'm going to go ahead and do monthly. Hit continue, and let's see here. There we go. Visa. Put in the credit card expiration. Basic stuff. You can have an option about when the payment will be deducted. So if somebody's on tight budget and they want to have it set after their payday, when they get their Medicare payment, you could do that. So I'm going to put, I'm not going to change that. And then this will be the last screen where you're certifying everything's correct. There's a notice page for compliance purposes. There's the plan summary, cardholder acknowledgement, electronic agreement. Let's put the city, and there it is. You can review the details as well. One other comment on this particular screen. So this is a guaranteed issue policy, but if it was issue aged anywhere outside of the guaranteed issue, then there would be 4 knockout questions that are listed, and I can provide those in follow-up email. All right, let's make sure I got everything. And there we go. And then you just put your agent information here, and that is it. Submit application.
All right, a lot of good stuff there, Bob. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, this thing can be bound. It looks like it's going to bind the following day. So
Yep.
You can bind immediately.
LifeSecure's technology is as good as anybody's out there. We had a massive amount of success with it in Washington during the LTC campaign in 2021, and we know that really intuitive, easy for folks to work with. The fact that they make the Pearl available, or what you alluded to within the Pearl format available, is something that agents are always clamoring for, and it's the kind of thing that we can make available to the agents as we get them farther into the onboard process. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up for questions, unless you've got anything else you want to say in conclusion, Bob.
No, just appreciate the opportunity, and really love this product. It's a feel-good product to sell, and I think it's pretty affordable and super easy to do business with.
All right, well, let's see if we got any questions. Again, I'm going to unmute everybody. If you've got anything going on or you don't intend to answer or ask a question, please go ahead and unmute yourself or mute yourselves locally. Most everybody does that anyway. We can take questions. As is always the case, Jordan will process this presentation and will upload it to the website. You'll have access to it probably later this afternoon to circle back and review a second time. The marketing team will be following up with the folks on the call this afternoon. We've got some other things, including a follow-up meeting coming up here at the top of the hour, but we will be in touch with everybody. For those of you that have been on our webinars before, this next part is familiar, but compliance is a significant concern, for lack of a better way to put it. And so what we tell agents all the time, one of the key takeaways from this is that if you want to move forward with this product, we need to get you through the licensing process with the carrier. They've got a very unique process. We can get the electronic file out to you to get that started and walk you through it so that we can have you up and running as soon as possible. But we don't make collateral available for folks because the agent agreement with carrier actually says that you do not represent LifeSecure or its products until such time as you have been appropriately appointed with the carrier. So that will be one of the trailing pieces that we do. Bob was gracious enough to give you some ideas about how to start a campaign that you would run with this, which we're going to make that an ongoing point of emphasis with all the webinar presentations that we're doing here. So a great way to get you started. So don't have anybody holding hands up, any of that kind of thing. So I think you basically threw the, let's call it the webinar version of a no-hitter, Bob. So impressive. We appreciate that very much. Without any other questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Bob, thank you for making your valuable time available to help our folks out. We'll do what we can to get as many of the folks that were on the call today up and running quickly with the carrier, and we'll try to get some time scheduled down the road in May or June to look at some of the other products that they've got and continue to make sure that LifeSecure's great products and great technology are available to our agents. So with that said, everybody, we're going to wrap it. Appreciate your time very much. We look forward to talking with you this afternoon as part of our follow-up. Bob, I'll let you get back to what you're doing, and we'll call that a wrap. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.